You stopped asking where I'd been, stopped caring how my day went. The little things that once meant love slowly became irrelevant. I noticed all the changes, but I never made a sound. I was scared that asking questions would be the reason you walked out.
So I learned to live with silence, just to keep you near. I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
until your distance felt like home.
I stayed until the empty spaces
didn't scare me anymore.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
till I stopped asking you to stay.
Sometimes we hold on to someone
by slowly giving ourselves away. You'd come home after midnight, and I pretend that I was sleeping. You'd turn away beside me, while my heart kept quietly speaking. I knew you weren't happy, but I loved you far too much to become another reason for you to give us up. I kept making myself smaller,
just to fit inside your life. I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
until your silence had a name.
I stayed through every lonely night
and called it love instead.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
till there was nothing left to say.
You didn't have to leave me, I had already watched you fade.
I thought loving you meant staying,
no matter what it cost.
Sometimes loving someone
means knowing when you've lost.
you can't save a relationship
by disappearing inside it. I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
but tonight I'm walking free.
I won't spend another lifetime
trying to make you choose me.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal.
Now I finally understand,
love should never feel like begging for someone to hold your hand.
You still kiss me in the morning, still whisper take care. But there's something in the way you touch me that tells me you're not there. You still ask me how I'm doing, still smile when I walk through, but I can feel the distance in everything you do. I don't need you to tell me,
My heart already knows.
you don't love me like you used to, and I feel it every night.
You still hold me in your arms, but nothing feels right.
You don't love me like you used to,
and I wish that wasn't true.
I'd rather hear the painful truth
than keep pretending it's still you.
We used to talk about forever, like it was ours to keep. Now we barely say good morning before you fall asleep. Your favorite song is playing, but you don't sing along. And I'm sitting here beside you, wondering where we went wrong. Maybe love doesn't disappear,
it just becomes something else. You don't love me like you used to. I can see it in your eyes.
You're still standing next to me,
but you're already saying goodbye. You don't love me like you used to,
and I can't make you stay. Sometimes the deepest kind of love
is knowing when to walk away.
If I could make you feel again,
Would you choose me tonight?
I wish I could,
But my heart has changed.
Some love stories end quietly
Before the final goodbye.
You don't love me like you used to,
And now I finally see
I can't keep asking yesterday
to come back and rescue me.
You don't love me like you used to,
But I remember what was true.
because once upon a time
My love, you loved me, and I loved you too.
Found your old letter inside a drawer last night. The words were full of promises that once felt so alive. You wrote about forever, you wrote that we'd be fine. I read it in the darkness and wondered when we changed our minds. Maybe we didn't lose the love, maybe we lost our way.
I couldn't say what we used to be. I held the pieces in my hands, but they kept slipping free. I couldn't say what we used to be.
Sometimes loving someone deeply still can make
them stay with you.
your favorite record's playing, the one we used to dance to. I almost turned around, expecting to see you. The room still holds our laughter, the walls remember everything, but memories can't bring back what tomorrow couldn't bring. I kept preparing yesterday while you were moving on.
I couldn't say what we used to be. have changed the road my heart was taking.
Sometimes two people love each other
and still can't find the way. I couldn't say what we used to be,
but I won't regret the love
you once gave to me. I couldn't say what we used to be.
I'll let the past rest gently and carry what it taught me.
I couldn't save our forever,
but I can finally set it free. We stopped talking about tomorrow, but I never asked you why. I kept making little plans for us while you were learning to say goodbye. You still slept beside me, you still held me sometimes, but there was something missing in the way you looked into my eyes. I saw the distance growing, but I called it just a phase.
I was still calling it love when you had already let go. I was still calling it forever when you were ready to go. I was still calling it love.
Every time you turned away, I kept giving us another chance.
You kept giving me another day.
I learned to read your silence like a language of its own. I knew when you were somewhere else, even when you were home. Your laughter became quieter, your touch became unsure. I kept knocking on your heart, but you weren't opening the door. Maybe I love the memory
more than what was left. I was still calling it love while we were falling apart. You were standing next to me, but already gone inside your heart. I was still calling it love
because I couldn't face the truth.
Sometimes holding on to someone means losing parts of you.
How long can a heart pretend that everything is fine?
Only until the silence becomes louder than the love.
And sometimes the hardest truth
Is the one we've always known. I was still calling it love,
but now I call it goodbye.
I won't keep asking yesterday
To come back into my life,
I was still calling it love,
and maybe that's okay,
because I gave you all my heart
before I learned to walk away. sit by the window long after you went home, watching all the headlights, trying not to feel alone. Your last words kept repeating like a song inside my head. I kept believing somehow there was something left unsaid.
I was waiting for tomorrow. You were finished with today.
I waited for a love that was already gone. I kept singing our old song after you stopped singing along.
I waited for a love that couldn't come back home. Sometimes hope keeps knocking on a door that's turned to stone.
Your old photograph is fading by the lamp beside my bed. I still remember every word, every promise that you said.
The nights became much longer after you walked away, but slowly I'm discovering some wounds need time to fade.
I kept holding on to memories because memories don't say goodbye.
I waited for a love that was already gone. You had found another sunrise. I was still waiting on the dawn. I waited for a love that had already changed. I kept calling out your name while the silence answered back.
Maybe I wasn't waiting for you.
Maybe I was waiting for myself, waiting to believe that I could live without you.
Sometimes letting go
Is the last way we love.
I waited for a love that was already gone. Now I'm learning how to breathe and carry myself on.
I waited
For a love
that couldn't stay with me, and maybe losing you was how I learned to finally be free.
You stopped asking where I'd been, stopped caring how my day went. The little things that once meant love slowly became irrelevant. I noticed all the changes, but I never made a sound. I was scared that asking questions would be the reason you walked out.
So I learned to live with silence, just to keep you near.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal, until your distance felt like home.
I stayed until the empty spaces didn't scare me anymore.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
till I stopped asking you to stay.
come home after midnight, and I'd pretend that I was sleeping.
You turn away beside me while my heart kept quietly speaking.
I knew you weren't happy, but I loved you far too much
to become another reason for you to give us up.
I kept making myself smaller
just to fit inside your life.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
until your silence had a name.
I stayed through every lonely night
and called it love instead.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
till there was nothing left to say.
You didn't have to leave me,
I had already watched you fade.
I thought loving you meant staying,
no matter what it cost.
sometimes loving someone
means knowing when you've lost.
you can't save a relationship
by disappearing inside it.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
But tonight I'm walking free,
I won't spend another lifetime
trying to make you choose me.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal.
Now I finally understand.
Love should never feel like begging
For someone to hold your hand.
You stopped asking where I'd been, stopped caring how my day went. The little things that once meant love slowly became irrelevant. I noticed all the changes, but I never made a sound. I was scared that asking questions would be the reason you walked out.
So I learned to live with silence, just to keep you near.
I stayed until your
Goodbye felt normal, until your distance felt like home.
I stayed until
The empty spaces didn't scare me anymore.
I stayed until your
Goodbye felt normal, till I stopped asking you to stay. Sometimes we hold on to someone by slowly giving ourselves away.
You'd come home after midnight, and I'd pretend that I was sleeping. You'd turn away beside me while my heart kept quietly speaking. I knew you weren't happy, but I loved you far too much to become another reason for you to give us up. I kept making myself smaller just to fit
inside your life.
I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
until your distance felt like home. scare me anymore. I stayed until your goodbye felt normal,
till I stopped asking you to stay.
Sometimes we hold on to someone by slowly giving ourselves away.
You'd come home after midnight, and I'd pretend that I was sleeping.
You turn away beside me while my heart kept quietly speaking.
I knew you weren't happy,
but I loved you far too much
to become another reason
for you to give us up.
I kept making myself smaller,
just to fit inside your life. I stayed until your goodbye felt normal.
You used to call me after midnight just to hear me breathe. Now the phone stays quiet, like you don't think of me. We used to chase the moonlight down streets we knew by heart. Now every road we travel only takes us farther apart. I felt you changing slowly, but I was scared to know.
The night you stopped choosing me
Was the night I lost us both.
I was still holding on to love you were letting go. The night you stopped choosing me,
I could see it in your eyes.
you were already somewhere else,
While I was still asking why. Your picture by the window still catches morning light, and every little memory comes back to me at night. I remember how you held me when the world was hard to face. Now I only hold the silence where you used to leave your warmth. I kept believing in tomorrow. You had already said goodbye.
the night you stopped choosing me. I still called you mine. I was trying to say forever, you were running out of time. The night you stopped choosing me, there was no one to blame, just two hearts losing rhythm while pretending they were the same.
If I had one more chance, would you choose me again?
I wish I could say yes, but my heart had changed.
Some goodbyes begin before the words are spoken.
The night you stopped choosing me,
Still lives inside my heart,
I loved you through the silence.
even as we fell apart.
The night you stopped choosing me,
Was painful, but now I know
you can't make somebody stay
when their heart wants to go. like it meant the world to you. Now it sounds like something you don't remember how to do. We still share the same old memories, still walk beneath the same sky. But every time I look at you, I see a different kind of goodbye.
I felt you slipping slowly,
but I kept holding on.
when you stopped saying my name,
I knew something had changed.
you still looked into my eyes,
but nothing felt the same.
when you stopped saying my name,
the silence said enough.
I was still calling it forever.
You were already giving up. I remember Sunday mornings, coffee waiting by the bed. You would tell me all your dreams before the day had even started. Now the mornings feel so empty, even when you're standing there.
Sometimes being close to someone feels like they're nowhere.
I kept reaching for your heart,
You kept moving out of reach. When you stopped saying my name,
I started losing you.
not in one dramatic moment,
But in everything you stopped doing,
when you stopped saying my name.
I knew we couldn't stay.
Some loves don't end with anger,
They just
quietly fade away.
I wish I could remember the last time you said it with love.
I wish I could have told you when my heart was changing.
Maybe we were both afraid
To say the truth out loud.
when you stopped saying my name. A part of me went quiet,
I kept searching for the old us,
but couldn't bring it back to life.
when you stopped saying my name.
Finally understood,
Sometimes love doesn't disappear.
it just stops feeling like it should. I still remember that evening when you stood beside the door. You looked back for just a moment, like you'd done 1,000 times before.
I wanted to say, don't leave me, but the words stayed in my chest.
So I watched you walk away
and pretended it was best.
Some goodbyes are never spoken, they just live inside our eyes.
You were my favorite
I don't wish you back anymore.
I just miss who we were. You were my favorite goodbye.
Though I wasn't ready then,
Some people leave our lives,
but remain inside our hearts.
you were my favorite goodbye.
The chapter I can't erase,
Because losing you completely
would mean losing our beautiful days. If I could meet you one more time,
I wouldn't ask you to stay,
I'd only say thank you.
for loving me that way.
Not every goodbye is a failure.
Some are simply love's last embrace. You were my favorite goodbye.
And maybe that's okay.
Some loves are meant to touch our hearts.
And quietly walk away.
You were my favorite goodbye.
And I'll remember you,
Not for how the story ended,
but for how beautiful it once grew. You smiled at me this morning like nothing had gone wrong. I asked you if you loved me. You said of course I do. But there was something in your voice that made the room feel cold. Like you were saying words your heart could no longer hold. I would have understood the truth if you had trusted me with it.
I wish you had told me you were falling out of love. I would have held you gently instead of holding on too much. I wish you had told me before you disappeared. I could have cried beside you instead of losing you in silence here.
You stopped telling me your worries, stopped reaching for my hand. I kept thinking you were tired, I didn't understand. I made excuses for your distance, said we'd find our way. But every night you moved away, a little more than yesterday. I wasn't afraid of losing you, I was afraid of knowing why.
I wish you had told me you were falling out of love. Maybe we could have faced it before the feeling was gone. I wish you had told me instead of pretending we're okay. I would have loved you through the ending if you'd let me share the pain.
Was there a night you stopped dreaming about us?
There wasn't one single night. It happened slowly.
Some hearts don't stop loving suddenly,
They just stop finding their way back. I wish you had told me you were falling out of love.
close last Friday, but something felt so far. Your arms were wrapped around me, your heart was somewhere dark. You kissed me on the forehead, then whispered, "Sleep tonight." I wanted to believe you, but something didn't feel right. I could feel the ending in the warmth of your embrace.
I knew you were leaving by the way you held me, like you were memorizing the shape of me. I knew you were leaving, though you never said goodbye. Your arms were saying stay, your eyes were saying why.
You looked at me so softly, like someone saying grace. I didn't know that moment would be the last time I saw that face. The room was almost silent, the rain was falling slow. I wanted to ask you something, but I was scared to know. Sometimes the heart understands before the mind can hear.
I knew you were leaving by the way you held me. You stayed a little longer, like you knew what it would mean. I knew you were leaving before the morning light. I was holding on to forever. You were holding on for one last night.
Was that your final kiss? Did you know it then?
I knew something was ending, I just couldn't say when.
Some goodbyes are whispered
Before they're ever spoken.
I knew you were leaving by the way you held me.
And I still wish that moment could have lasted endlessly. I knew you were leaving, but I let myself believe. Sometimes we hold somebody even when we know they'll leave.
You fell asleep beside me, with your fingers in my hand. I thought we'd wake together, like we'd always planned. But somewhere in the midnight, you quietly changed your mind.
And when the morning found me, you were already leaving mine.
I wish I'd known that night was the last we'd ever share.
You left before the morning came, before the sun could touch your face.
I was still dreaming of forever. You were already gone without a trace.
You left before the morning
coffee cup is waiting exactly where you left it. I never moved a single thing, I couldn't bear to touch it. The curtains catch the morning breeze the way they always do, but every little corner still reminds me of you. I keep waking from a dream where you're still beside me.
You left before the morning came,
Before I understood
that sometimes love can disappear even when everything looks good. You left before the morning came,
without a final word,
the silence that you left behind was louder than anything I'd heard. Ooh, ooh.
if I could hold that night again,
I'd never close my eyes
maybe some goodbyes happen,
while we're still dreaming,
and some hearts leave quietly.
before the morning arrives. You left before the morning came,
But I still carry you,
in every quiet sunrise,
and every sky of a blue.
you left before the morning came.
And now I finally know
Some love stories end at midnight, before the world can see them go.
We used to fall asleep with our fingers intertwined. Now there's a little space between us, growing every night.
You still whisper softly when you say goodnight,
But your voice feels like a stranger's in the middle of the night. I can feel the warmth disappearing, though you're still here.
we're holding on to the last warmth between us.
Like a dying fire,
Neither heart can trust. We're holding on to
the last
warmth between us,
afraid to let it fade.
afraid to admit it's gone.
Your hand still finds mine when the room gets cold, but it doesn't carry the feeling it once held.
We used to talk till sunrise about where we'd go.
Now we turn away quietly and let the silence grow. Maybe we knew the ending
Long before we said it, we're holding on to
the last warmth
between us,
two tired hearts,
afraid to call it done. We're holding on to
the last warmth
between us.
Sometimes love survives
colder around us. We're holding on to
the last warmth between us,
and maybe tomorrow we'll finally let it go.
You were lying next to me when I felt the distance grow. Your hand was resting on my chest, but your heart was letting go. The room was dark and quiet, only rain against the glass. I wanted to ask what changed, but I was scared to hear the truth at last.
I could feel you fading
before you ever said goodbye.
I could feel you fading beside me,
little by little every night.
you were still holding my body,
But your heart
was out of sight.
I could feel you fading beside me,
And I didn't know what to do.
I kept holding on to yesterday,
While yesterday was losing you.
your favorite song was playing low beneath the midnight rain. I remembered how you danced with me before we learned about the pain. You used to tell me everything, now I had to ask twice, and every answer sounded like a stranger trying to be nice.
I kept pretending we were okay,
Because I wasn't ready to lose you.
I could feel you fading beside me.
Though you never walked away,
You were leaving in 1,000 little ways every single day. I could feel you fading beside me.
and I still called you mine.
Sometimes the heart sees the ending
Before the eyes can recognize. If I had held you tighter, would you have stayed?
Maybe you can't hold a heart that is already changed.
Some love doesn't break apart, it simply disappears.
I could feel you fading beside me.
And now I understand.
I was trying to save a future you had already left behind.
I could feel you fading beside me, but I won't chase you anymore.
I'll remember how you loved me before you walked out through that door.
You used to call me when you couldn't sleep, tell me every secret that you couldn't keep. I'd stay awake until the morning light, just to make sure you were feeling alright. Now the phone stays silent on the other side, and I don't even know where you go at night. Funny how the person who once needed me can become a stranger so quietly.
I don't miss being needed,
I miss the way it felt to be your home.
I miss the way you needed me, the way you used to hold on tight,
like I was the only place that made your world feel right.
I miss the way you needed me before you learned to let me go.
Now I have all this love inside,
with nowhere left to go.
I remember when you had a bad day, you found my arms and quietly stayed. You never had to say a single word, I knew exactly when your heart was hurt. Now I hear you're doing fine without me, and I tell everyone that's fine with me. But some nights when the city falls asleep, I wonder if you ever think of me.
Maybe I don't miss the person you became,
I miss the person you were with me.
I miss the way you needed me,
the way you trusted me with your fears.
I would've stayed beside you through 1,000 difficult years. I miss the way you needed me,
but I know those days are gone.
you found a life beyond my arms, and I'm learning to move on.
Maybe I wanted to be
the person you could always run to.
Maybe I love the comfort
More than I understood,
but love isn't only being needed,
it's knowing when to let go. I miss the way you needed me,
but I don't need you to return.
I'll keep the nights we shared,
And every lesson that I
I
learned,
miss the way you needed me,
but I let the memory breathe.
because loving you once was enough to change me.
I still remember your laughter falling softly through the rain, back when every little moment made me want to stay. Now I hear the same old silence, where your voice used to be. And I don't know when forever turned into a memory. I kept holding on to yesterday while tomorrow pulled you away.
Somewhere between loving you and letting go, I lost the person I was trying to hold.
Somewhere between loving you
And saying goodbye,
the evening light, and every time the rain comes down, I think of you at night. I don't hate the way it ended, I just wish we'd known before that the hands we held so tightly wouldn't hold us anymore. I wanted one more tomorrow, you needed one last night.
Somewhere between loving you and letting go, we became two lonely people who were scared to say it so.
Somewhere between loving you
and losing what we knew,
I realized that holding on
was hurting me and you.
If I let you go tonight, will I still remember your smile?
You'll remember the love, but the pain will fade with time.
Maybe letting go
Isn't the end of love?
maybe it's the final way we say enough.
Somewhere between loving you and letting go,
I found the strength.
I never thought I'd know.
Somewhere between love
And saying goodbye,
I finally stopped asking why you couldn't stay in my life.
somewhere between loving you,
And letting you go,
I found myself again.
somewhere I had lost so long ago. We were sitting in the darkness, listening to the rain. You were only inches from me, but I couldn't feel you there. You asked me what was wrong, I said nothing, I'm okay. But we both knew the silence had too much left to say. I don't remember when it started, I only know it changed.
That was the night we stopped feeling like us,
Still holding each other,
but losing the trust. That was the night we stopped feeling like us.
I was looking for forever,
You were looking for a way out.
your fingers touched my shoulder, then slowly slipped away. I wanted to pull you closer, but I didn't know what to say. The rain kept falling softly
Against the bedroom glass,
and every drop reminded me
that nothing ever lasts.
I could feel your heart growing distant,
while mine was holding tight. That was the night we stopped feeling like us.
two people in the same room,
With nothing left to trust. That was the night we stopped feeling like us.
love was still between our hands,
But it wasn't enough.
stopped feeling like us.
I still remember your eyes when you stopped looking for mine. That was the night
we slowly disappeared.
not because we stopped caring,
but because we stopped
being there. That was the night we stopped feeling like us.
and I still wonder
if we could have saved the two of us.
You didn't say you're leaving, you didn't close the door. You just stopped reaching for me like you did before. We sat beneath the same moon with nothing left to say. I watched the light inside your eyes slowly fade away. Your silence told me everything before your lips could speak.
I heard goodbye in your silence
Before you walked away,
I felt the ending coming.
in every word you didn't say.
I heard goodbye in your silence.
Though you were still right here,
Sometimes the loudest heartbreak is the one you never hear.
your coffee sat beside you, growing colder by the hour. I wanted to reach across the table, but I had lost the power. The picture on the wall still showed the people we once were. Two hearts that promised forever before forever blurred. I kept waiting for a reason, you only gave me space.
I heard goodbye in your silence.
Long before the end,
I kept trying to save our love.
you stopped trying to pretend.
I heard goodbye in your silence.
In the distance of your eyes,
You didn't have to leave me to make me realize.
was there a moment you stopped believing in us?
I don't know when it happened. I only knew I couldn't stay.
Some endings don't need words, they live inside the silence.
I heard goodbye in your silence.
And now I understand,
You can't hold on to forever.
with only one pair of hands.
I heard goodbye in your silence.
And though it broke me down,
I'll carry what was beautiful and leave the rest behind.
I still hear your laughter in the places we once called home. Your picture faces the doorway, like you're waiting to come back. I know you're somewhere far away, but my heart still follows that track. You took your love with you, but left your shadow here.
You left your shadow in my room, and I know how to make it leave. Every night it sits beside me, every night I still believe. You left your shadow in my room, though you're somewhere I can't reach. Funny how a memory can feel closer than a dream.
I still know the way you smiled when you were trying not to cry. I still remember how you whispered that you never say goodbye. Now the clock keeps moving slowly while the world outside moves on, and I'm learning how to wake up when the person I love is gone. I keep talking to your silence like you're listening somewhere.
You left your shadow in my room, and it follows me at night. I keep turning toward the empty side, thinking you'll be there in the light. You left your shadow in my room, and I can't blame you for the pain. Some memories stay behind, even when people walk away.
Maybe tomorrow I'll finally start looking for you.
Maybe tomorrow the room won't feel so empty, but tonight I'll let your memory stay. You left your shadow in my room,
But I'm learning to let it fade
I'll keep the love we once had.
and release the plans we made.
You left your shadow in my room,
But morning will come again.
and maybe one day I'll remember you
Without feeling the pain. You turned away beside me, like you always do these days. I stared into the darkness, counting all the things that changed.
We used to talk till morning,
with your head against my chest.
now we're lying inches apart, and somehow nothing's left.
The bed is still the same,
But we are not. We became strangers in the same bed,
sleeping next to each other.
with couldn't reach your heart again.
Your breathing sounds familiar,
but your silence feels brand new.
I close my eyes and wonder
if you're thinking of me too.
The moonlight fills the bedroom
and paints the walls in gray.
Funny how two people
can slowly drift away.
I kept waiting for your touch, you kept facing the other way.
We became strangers in the same bed,
holding on to memories
of everything we said. We became strangers in the same bed.
Love was sleeping between us,
but neither heart was awake.
when was the last time you reached for me first?
I don't remember.
Maybe that's when we lost us.
Sometimes people don't leave,
They just start coming closer.
we became strangers in the same bed.
And I finally understand
Why the silence hurt instead. We became strangers in the same bed.
I loved you till the morning,
But you were already gone in your head.
oh. You told me it was over, but my heart didn't believe. You kept looking for your footsteps every time you tried to leave. I watched you cross the doorway with tears I couldn't hide. Funny how the body walks away while love stays inside. I knew the story ended, but my heart kept turning pages.
I loved you past the point of goodbye.
Past the moment you were gone,
I kept carrying our memories into every lonely dawn.
I loved you past the point of goodbye.
Even when I knew the truth,
Sometimes the heart keeps loving
long after love has left you.
Your side of the bed is empty, but I still leave room for you. Old habits have a way of staying after people choose to move. I hear your voice in little things, a song, the street, the rain, and every quiet midnight brings me back again. I tried to teach my heart to forget, but it only learned your name.
I loved you past the point of goodbye.
Past the final door,
I kept searching for the person who didn't love me
was a mistake, I'd still make it again.
Some memories aren't meant to be erased, only carried differently.
And some hearts heal
by learning not to forget. I loved you past the point of goodbye,
but I'm finally letting go.
I'll keep the love we shared and release what I can't hold. I loved you past the point of goodbye.
Now I know what love can do.
Sometimes letting someone leave is the kindest thing we can do.
I never needed crowded rooms or roses at your door. I loved you in the little things and hoped you'd ask for more. A coffee waiting in the morning, your jacket on my chair, a hand resting on your shoulder just to let you know I'm there.
Maybe I loved you too quietly for you to hear my heart.
I loved you in the quietest way, without asking you to stay.
I gave you all my little words in the simplest yesterday.
I loved you in the quietest way, while you were drifting far.
I thought my silence meant devotion. You thought it meant I didn't care.
I learned the songs you loved and hummed them when you cried. I knew when something hurt you before you ever had to hide. But somewhere in the years between us, I forgot to say the words. I thought you knew I loved you. Maybe that's where we got lost.
I was speaking through my actions, you were waiting for my voice.
I loved you in the quietest way, you were listening for a sound.
I was building little bridges, you were waiting to be found.
I loved you in the quietest way, and maybe that was wrong.
Sometimes love can be sincere and still not be enough.
If I could go back, I'd say it every morning.
I love you,
I need you.
please don't go.
Maybe if we spoken sooner,
We could have found our way
but some words arrive too late.
to save yesterday.
I loved you in the quietest way,
And I'll never call it wrong,
because every quiet moment
was where my heart belonged. I loved you in the quietest way,
till you couldn't hear me anymore.
now I'm learning how to love myself after losing what I loved before.
After losing what I loved before. beside you, but felt a world away. Your hand was lying next to mine, with nothing left to say. We used to share our secrets until the morning light. Now I hear you breathing and feel alone at night. I kept searching for the feeling that used to live between us.
It was the love I couldn't feel anymore, even when you were standing at my door.
I kept looking for the warmth we used to know,
but every time I reached for you, you let me go. It was the love I couldn't feel anymore,
and I didn't know what I was fighting for.
I was holding on to memories of a heart that wasn't mine anymore.
Your favorite coffee's waiting beside the kitchen sink. I remember how you loved me before I learned to think. You used to tell me everything that kept you up at night. Now your world is somewhere else
And I'm outside.
I kept calling it a season, hoping love would come around.
It was the love I couldn't feel anymore,
Though I still remember
what it was before.
you were close enough to touch,
But far enough to lose.
and I kept asking questions.
You didn't want to choose. It was the love I couldn't feel anymore.
A quiet kind of heartbreak at the door.
Nothing had to shatter.
Nothing had to break.
Sometimes love just disappears before we know it's changed.
Maybe I kept loving the version of you I knew.
Baby, I was still searching for the person I once loved too.
We weren't cruel, we just became different people.
It was the love I couldn't feel anymore.
And now I'm not afraid to face the truth,
I can keep the beautiful memories
without holding on to you.
It was the love I couldn't feel anymore,
But I know that doesn't make it fade.
some love can be real and still become a memory when two hearts change. When two hearts change.
Every time you said goodnight, it felt a little colder. Every time you walked away, I felt you getting farther. You still kissed me at the doorway, you still smiled before you left.
But something in the way you held me felt like something I had lost.
I didn't know it was goodbye,
I only knew it hurt. I felt you leaving in every goodbye,
even when you promised
you'd be back tonight. I felt you leaving in every goodbye.
your body came back home,
But your heart stayed outside.
we used to count the minutes till we see each other again.
Now I watch the clock alone and wonder where you've been.
Your messages got shorter, your I love you lost its sound.
I kept searching for the old you, but you couldn't be found.
I kept pretending nothing changed, because truth was hard to face.
I felt you leaving in every goodbye.
You were slowly disappearing
Right before my eyes, I felt you leaving, but I still held on.
Sometimes we feel the ending
Long before it's gone.
Was there a moment you stopped wanting me?
I don't know when.
I only knew the feeling wasn't there.
Some hearts don't break suddenly.
They fade one
Goodbye at a time. I felt you leaving in every goodbye.
Now I understand
Why your eyes look so tired. I felt you leaving and I couldn't make it stay.
So I'll keep the love we had
And let the rest fade away.
You loved me on the good days, when the sky was clear and blue, when life was easy on your heart, and I was easy to love too. But when the nights got heavy and the silence filled the room, you started pulling farther, like love had left too soon.
I kept waiting for the old you
to come back through that door. You only loved me
when it was easy.
when there was nothing left to fight,
You held me close in the sunshine.
but disappeared into the night.
You only loved me when it was easy.
When my heart didn't ask for more,
I gave you all of my broken pieces.
you stopped
Reaching for the door.
I never needed perfect, I never needed a dream. I only needed someone who wouldn't leave when things got deep. I stayed through all your shadows, I held you through your pain. But when my heart needed saving, you didn't stay the same.
I thought love meant holding on,
Even when the world got hard,
you only loved me when it was easy.
when the road was smooth and bright,
But love is more than pretty moments.
staying through the hardest nights.
You only loved me when it was easy. other. You only loved me when it was easy,
but I love you through the rain,
through every quiet midnight,
through every hidden pain.
you only loved me when it was easy,
And I won't hold that against you.
I'll just find someone someday
Who knows how to stay when love gets hard to